you believe in may be different from mine, and what I believe in may be different. I don't mind. Believe what you think, and I believe in mine. And in the end, we all live in life what you believe in. I don't mind. Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace. I don't mind. They believe.
It's another very wonderful episode of the Believe on KAFTAN Television. I am your very host, Prince Alex. And I believe you all enjoyed the last episode. Now moving on with a brand new episode, Marriage Solemnization. The term marriage simply means to be married. Solemnization is the proper performance of a ceremony such as performing a marriage. The introduction of Christianity has resulted in a clash with pre-existing traditional beliefs and practices, particularly when it comes to performing marriage. Marriage rites in Nigeria, some Pentecostal Christian churches do not allow the bride to immediately return home with the groom and his family after the traditional marriage rites have been performed. Some Nigerians Pentecostal argue that they are not husband and wife until a white wedding is performed. This has prompted the question: at what point can a young man and a woman who have married traditionally be socially described as a married couple? Is a church wedding biblical? We will be talking about this and many more, but before that, let's quickly go on a break and we will continue after the break. Stay tuned.
Mutual love and respect brings peace.
Welcome back. It's still the Believe on KAFTAN Television, in case you're just tuning in. And today, just as I stated before the break, we'll be discussing marriage solemnization. And due to the diversity of culture and religion across the continent, marriage ceremonies in Africa vary greatly, not only between countries, but also between local communities. Combining practices is a common practice in Africa. There is a growing trend among African communities where wedding ceremonies and marriage processes are combined. This is evident in marriage ceremonies where both Muslims and Christians participate in traditional customs as well as the ones typical to their religion. Marriage, according to many African communities, is primarily about procreation and providing for children, as this is regarded as the foundation of the society. The introduction of the groom and bride is the first step in the various marriage ceremonies performed in Africa. The Yoruba call this Momi Moe, that is, to know me and let me know you, while the Igbo call it Ikuaka Nunzo, which simply means knock on the door. Typically, family is involved in the process. The engagement is where traditional practices are performed in many African communities, such as Nigeria ethnic groups. It consists of a lengthy ceremony in which both families are heavily involved. The ceremony is usually held at bride's residence. Payment is made from the groom's family to the bride's family, and wedding rings are exchanged. Traditional customs specific to the community are also observed. In the modern era, some couples proceed to have a religious wedding ceremony. The wedding includes more modern marital customs that are relevant to the religions of the participants' families. The exchange of marital vows and the bride and the groom's modern wedding attire are two examples of this. While this is not a traditional marriage custom, many Africans have adopted it into their communities, creating a strong link between their primary religion and their traditional and cultural beliefs. To discuss this with me today in the studio is our very own and the person of Abigail. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, you're looking all beautiful. After the program, I should take you home. And again, we have, just as I always have, two guests in the studio. We have, in the person of Pastor Olurunyomi Lawrence. How are you doing, sir?
Wonderful.
It's nice having you again in the studio.
God bless you. Wonderful.
For you viewers, he's also an agriculturist. So in case you're hungry, we can meet him after the program. All right. Okay, let's just dive down to the discussion of today. Brendan, let me start with you.
Okay.
What does marriage mean in the common sense? How do you see it, marriage solemnization?
Marriage is the union between a man and a woman.
Okay.
And to solemnize simply means to do a function properly.
Okay.
So a man going to ask a lady's hand in marriage and with the consent of the woman's family, that's the parents and relatives, then it's granted is what is supposed to be done. But nowadays we know we practice different marriages.
Forms of marriages. I don't want to ask if you believe in one yet. I'll be coming to that. All right, sir. I know, yes, you're married with lots of, let me use years of experience.
Thank you.
Yes. So how would you describe marriage to us that are still single?
Well, I would see marriage as coming together of two matured male and female.
Okay.
With a decision to live together for the rest of their life.
Wow.
Shortly, that is it. Matured male and female. Boys don't marry, girls don't marry.
Wow.
Only mature men and mature
Women.
marry.
Okay. I know you're not oblivious of the fact that marriages is divided into series of sections, which happen to be the religious marriage, the courts, and the traditional. Now, I want to ask specifically, which one would you give your consent to most among these three?
Well, I will see the most important aspect of marriage is the release of these two, male and female,
okay,
by their parents, which is called the introduction.
Okay.
That is, we used to call it tradition now. That is where you have the consent of the fathers and the mothers. Take my daughter, take my son. I get it now. Now. After that one, that is the foundation.
Okay.
After that, I will line, maybe it's not because I'm a pastor, I will line to church marriage. Because the first marriage on earth was in the church, in the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
Was God not hidden in the church?
He came down.
Okay.
And removed Eve from Adam. Packaged her. They are very beautiful. And presented her. This is your wife.
So in essence, religious marriage is very important.
Very, very important.
Okay.
Because that is the foundation of marriage.
That's the foundation of marriage.
Yes.
Okay. Right now, let me ask for your consent before we dive down into discussion properly. Where do you fall among these three categories of marriage that we have?
For me, it's traditional marriage because that is the main thing. Even in the Bible that it says that's the origin of marriage, there's nothing like that. A man hearing Garden of Eden, it was not a church.
Okay.
So it's traditional marriage.
All right.
You like tradition, but did you know of all the ladies I've seen in my life, the first person that is telling me that she will prefer traditional marriage to any other kind of marriage is Abigail Brenda. Ha! That is wonderful. But Abigail, truthfully, I know ladies who want the flamboyant kind of marriage. They want to be on that white regalia and all that, looking all purified like angels. But what is it with religious marriage? What do you have against it?
Okay, and what is it for me is it acquires extra money.
Okay.
And you see that this marriage, it's the Western marriage. It originated in Great Britain, and it's their traditional formal wedding. Which just as we have the African traditional wedding here. So it's like we are copying the religion, which is Christianity, and we don't even know the boundary to stop. We now proceed to copy their culture. So to me, it's like what they call, you are repeating the same thing. You are already married. Why are you married again? But I know that some people like the white wedding, the church wedding, because of the gown and all that. To even know that the wearing of the white gown, it's not also still biblical. It started getting popular when Queen Victoria married, and you just introduce it to like where to. It's just like maybe you want to.
It's somebody ideology.
Yes, maybe some people might bring a slang and people copy it. It doesn't make it the ideal thing. So I don't see why you do traditional marriage and still want to do church. No doubt, if you feel like, to me, if I feel like I want to be dressed on that white gown, I can. If I want to do statutory marriage, that is court marriage that we now know because of some credentials in case you want to travel out, I can decide to wear the white gown to go and do that. but I don't see the
You
need
just
of going
made a
to church.
statement. I'm coming to you, sir. You just made a statement in case we want to travel out. So court marriage is important.
Of course. Because when you do
does that mean that even the traditional marriage is not internationally accepted?
No, it's not internationally accepted because there's no papers. But that is the ideal marriage, because the people that are married from the first marriage, the Genesis, Adam and Eve, there was no marriage, there was no vow, there was no license. But we know that we are in a civilized world where certain things are being required. So to also be qualified to some certain things, you need to do this. But for you to be called a couple, the traditional marriage, which the both parties are involved and the families give their consent, is very okay.
Why would you prefer, or why would you give more attention to religious marriage to the traditional marriage?
Well, I repeat again, it's not because I am a pastor.
Okay.
But anything you do outside God, where by 95% fall apart.
Okay.
When you are in Christ as a Christian, or you are a Muslim, and you believe that there is God, then he must be involved in everything you want to do. That is why I believe in it.
Okay.
And there are, looking at the Bible again, there are instances where Christ himself, God himself, through Christ, was invited to a wedding.
Okay.
And there was chaos there. And the solution came from Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Regarding, the
wedding at Cana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I come in there?
Wait.
Don't come in yet. So all these are issues. See, the reason why many people go to what's it called, registry is because they want to marry. They marry with fear. Not about traveling. They marry with fear. If this man should do that, I will run back to the court. The court will decide for me. Why is it that your parents and the people that join you together in traditional cannot decide for you? Is it everybody that went to church, that went to registry, that are traveling? No. But you discover nowadays that some people will suffer go to registry, and they now come back to church or tomorrow because they carry fear. They have not done their homework very well. Maybe they just saw the man by roadside or the girl by roadside and say, okay, but let us look at something to bind us, so let us go to court. Let us go to these are the issues. So, but if you have the fear of God, if you have the fear of God, you don't need to know any fear of anything.
So that means that if I decide to do courts,
yes,
it's not important I do religion or tradition.
What I see is that, you see, ladies and men nowadays, they like what I call extravagant wastage.
Okay. It's Christian marriage, not extravagant.
No, just wait, I'm coming. You can, yourself, your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, the husband, the wife, can go to church and be married. But nowadays, that the church will be filled to the brim. Some people will be outside. And as they are joining you together, you are, how am I going to feed these people now? You carry that fear. Because those people that are in church now, they will follow you to reception.
Okay.
What is the essence of going there to buy and waste money for people? Does that one translate to success in the marriage? There are marriages that are even broke on the altar. The same day, they are still on the altar one. It is broke from there. Are you getting me now?
Okay.
So what you need to carry is the spirit of the lady, the spirit of the man, and the spirit of God joining you together. Overseas, you don't need. Tell me one area in overseas where you have a marriage of about 1,000 people gathering together because one girl and one boy want to marry. They don't have the time. The resources are not there. But here, because we are very wasteful, you want to show off. You see the gown. You know your gate here. Yes. The gown will be flowing from that, and that gown may even be bought on credit. The guy has not paid, but he want to do like the friend did. All these are just giving you unnecessary tension. Once your parents have agreed, you can marry. You pay dowry, you pay everything there. That is the major marriage. Any other one is just addition.
Okay.
Any other one is just
so
addition,
that means you
which
agree,
is not necessary.
That means you agree as soon as I get consent from both parents.
Yes.
Then marriage has been marriage has taken place.
That is the foundation.
That means that it's not necessary I do Christian marriage.
No, God must be involved.
I think we'll come to this after the break.
No, it's not.
All right, we will just visit this topic after the break because I think we've not gone anywhere yet. But just stay tuned. After the break, we'll continue with the program. Stay tuned.
Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace. They believe.
Welcome back. It's still the Believe on KAFTAN Television, and of course we'll be discussing marriage solemnization. And Abigail Brandam is still in the house. I will still have Pastor Olurunyomi Lawrence in the house, and it's been quite interesting. But I want to ask this question, Abigail, to you.
Okay.
We heard all he said. Now he agreed with your, let me say, your first mindset that marriage should be first the consent of the parents. Then he said after that, the Christian marriage is very important because it actually introduces God into the marriage. How intelligent is this?
I don't agree to that.
Okay.
Because, as I said, as far as you are already married, why are you proceeding to church? Now, you cannot quote anywhere where couples went to church to be joined together. There's no way. When you mentioned the canon that Jesus turned water into wine, was it a church? It was in their house that he went there to celebrate with them, and when they lacked drinks, he had to perform the miracle. So there is no way. It's just, as I said earlier, this white wedding thing is the Western traditional legal wedding. Just as this one we have done. That's why you will not see them do white wedding and do anything that is like traditional again, like how we do one and do two again. So it's a total waste. There's no biblical backup that we have to go to church. Now, when you say we should add God first, I'm not taking God out of it. I know God is the beginning and the end of everything. You can always do your traditional marriage. Of course, traditional marriage, we know that our friends will come. Even the church you belong to, you invite them. So your church members will come. Your pastor can come there. And there can be a section that, oh, kneel down, let me pray for you. Even the prayers of both parents, it's still a prayer. It's not that we are saying we are marrying to a devil. No. We must not go to church. But pastor can always pray in the traditional marriage, and it will save time, it will save costs. We now see how people now arrange it to be like Thursday, traditional marriage, Saturday, white wedding. Do we need those 2 days? Saturday should be resting. So if I can do everything on Thursday, everyone come and celebrate, they eat once, no money, and you know that even though they say some people like extravagant things, there are some things that will just naturally add pressure. As far as you want to do white wedding, you are expected to do the normal thing. After the church, this thing, you have to go and pay for a wedding hall. You have to now do decoration. That is extra expenses. Though some people can always curtail it to just do minimal one, but they might not feel fulfilled. That's why you see some people go extra miles to borrow and extend their hand where they cannot reach. But if I feel, okay, if some people feel it's a new trending thing, they want to get involved, church should not make it compulsory. I know of some church denominations that feel, okay, we are not making it mandatory for you to do church wedding. If you do traditional marriage and finish and you feel want to do, you are welcome. But some churches make it so compulsory that if you don't do white wedding in the church, you are not even regarded as a couple. And to an extent, if they want to give you an elder or a position in the church, and you did traditional marriage only, they have to like tell you to assume this office, you have to do church wedding. So you even see our parents in the denomination that I know, I don't want to mention name, they are already like 50 years, but because they want to give them elder, they have to now come and do white wedding. The money that they could have used to send their children to school, there are many things and responsibilities. That's when they want to do. Not that they really see the need on their own, because they were married for like 20 years and above, you understand? But because the church demands this, they shall have to do it. It's not necessary. But there are some churches that they now feel, okay, no pressure. I think like Jehovah's Witness, you have to do one. It's either you want to do church wedding, fine, we'll do it. Or you want to do traditional marriage, one, but you have to do one. So that's you should allow people to decide it if they want to do two, but the church making it a mandatory or a tenet or their own doctrine or dogma is a no-no for me.
A church actually decided that a couple that have been married traditionally should not live together until they are legally or they are practically married in church. How would you describe this scenario? What is your opinion towards it?
You know, we have a church and we have churches.
Okay.
and doctrines differ.
Okay.
And I want you to understand that any church you attend, understand the doctrine.
Okay.
And try to abide. If you know you cannot abide, you better go to
The church.
a church where the doctrine suits you. I got me now.
Okay.
In my church now, nobody will force you to do a particular extravagant wedding. But church, as you are, once you are a member of that church, the church, you have an input into it. The counseling will take place by the church. We have a committee, marriage committee already, that will counsel you, counsel the husband and the wife, so that the marriage will not fail in future.
Okay.
Joining you together is very easy. It's just a few minutes joining you together. But you are going to live together forever. They will show you scriptures. They will show you what has happened to other people's marriages. They will now ask you to now decide what you want to happen to your marriage.
Okay.
The church now joins you together. Where I'm going to is that the church will not say, after you are joined together here, go and throw elaborate reception. No, church. I don't think there's any church. It's just a human arrogance.
Okay.
Showing off. They go take. They will know that yes, we are here. And don't forget that you need money. Even from the evening of the day you are joined together, you need money. So if you have wasted all the money, you have borrowed on credit, you have bought some things on credit, you carry tension. Some people will not pay what they have borrowed. In 9 months, a baby will also come to meet the debt. I get it now. I agree with her in one aspect, that the traditional, that is its foundation.
Okay.
But it all depends on the church you are attending. I don't know about the Muslim. The church you are attending has their own doctrine. Okay. This is the rule. For example, now, if you want to be a deacon, you want to be an elder, there are some qualifications. You cannot be a divorcee now and say you want to be an elder. No. You don't have a home. You don't have I use the word home. Yeah. So these are the assessments. You must be married. One man, one wife, not one man, 5 wives that's coming to church. What do we tell the younger people there? We say, oh, you can marry as many as possible.
So can they give them the position if they don't do the church wedding?
Wedding as how?
Like if they do if they have done traditional marriage and they are to be given elder, can they give them without doing the church wedding?
It all depends on the church. In my church now, you are happily married. Okay. We do some investigation that your marriage is at peace. Okay. One man, one wife, you are qualified. Okay. Not that we now force you that you must come and do your wedding here. No, I've married about 50 years ago now. Because you want to give me a pastor that say I should come and do. It's not done. Any church that is doing that, maybe that is their doctrine. But you that is attending, you must know. Okay. Young girls, young boys that are attending church, you must know their doctrine. If it's a thing you cannot, your spirit is not abiding, we better relocate to a place where their doctrine suits you. But what I'm talking, where I'm talking about as a marriage counselor in my church, is that the area of extravagance. It's not done. No matter how rich
you're just saying the area of extravagance has nothing to do with Christian marriage.
That is what I'm saying. They are not coming together. Okay. You are married, you have been joined together in the church, go to your house.
But we've seen instances in church where it's publicly announced that so individuals want to get married, and they are inviting the whole church. Yes. And of course, you will see everybody coming to witness that particular celebration. Very good. It actually calls for extra spending because you have to take care of whoever is coming to witness your marriage. Listen. And again, I want to also state this, that in church marriages, there are some spendings. Okay, I've had few friends that got married, and they will tell me that for the counseling you're talking about now, they pay for it. they pay for counseling.
Yes, or they even pay the pastor before the pastor
in their church. Yes, they pay for the counseling. They pay for even to use the church premises for their wedding ceremony. They pay for it.
That's the commercial church. We have to church that are commercial. Everything. Some people even sell anointing oil. They say that's commercial. It's not part of that. It should not be part of that. You are putting pressure on the people. And because they have been attending your job for maybe 15, 20 years, they don't want to leave on time. So you use that that is very wrong. How can you ask someone to pay for counseling, pay for premises, pay for this and that? For what? Who is receiving the money? And the money is for what? No,
it's for
in my job we don't do that one. Where I'm coming to is this. I have invited you. I want to marry. I have invited you to come and witness the marriage. Isn't it? If you love me, come and witness it and go back to your house. But because of the tradition, the culture we have introduced, that if they come now, you have to feed them. How many people will you feed, my friend?
Okay.
But so would you say when you did your marriage, you did not feed people? I think Kosi demands if someone have come to stay for some hours, the person is hungry or thirsty, just give something. Even though it's biscuit and mineral.
So I have something here.
Sorry, sir. It's just a culture we have just introduced. It's a culture we have just introduced. And it's putting body on the young couple.
Let's look at traditional marriage.
Okay.
Because I have to face it because you actually support traditional marriage.
Of course.
It's a traditional lady.
Yeah, traditional lady. Now, traditional marriage, you give your 100% consent to it. But won't you say it's expensive too?
It's expensive in what way?
Okay, we have some marriages where
People must gather.
What the demand is even higher than what the man can afford.
That is the
marriage right.
dowry. Yes, the marriage right.
Okay.
They have to collect it. You have to pay dowry. So you cannot put it on me because I support.
No, sir.
You have to still pay. Even people
let me talk about this one.
Okay.
Dowry. Dowry is just to show that something has been paid to get this daughter.
But some families are greedy to like.
But why you now ask me as a husband that the dowry is 1 million naira, 2 million naira? To do what? Are you selling? That is why some people, when they marry, they see the girl as a property they have bought. 1 million, 2 million, because I want to marry your daughter. And that is why so many ladies in the region where they do that, they are not married. They now have to move away from the place to have somebody to marry. And when they marry outside the place, they can't go home again because they have the law there.
As I said, that is dependent on the family. Some families are greedy to like, they want to marry my daughter, I should get rich overnight. And so they will make the things to be costly or they will over demand. But even people that do the church wedding, they must have also still passed through the payment. So it's not about me supporting traditional marriage that is it not costly. No, it's what you have to do. It's a foundation which you have to do. So
whether it's expensive or not, you just have to do it.
You have to do it before any other thing, before you even still do the church wedding.
Because in a situation where you're asked to bring 6 gallons of palm oil, you're asked to bring 100 tubers of yam, you're asked to bring series of things.
2 goats.
I'm saying this because I'm single and I'm scared already.
So in that aspect, are you trying to ask me to maybe tell you to skip traditional marriage and go and do any other one that you feel is
I'm just saying let's justify the two. If we say religious Christian marriage is expensive, it's traditional marriage.
I'm trying to say that it adds to the expenses. For instance, if you want to use 100 naira to do traditional marriage, which is a must, you must first do it. Now, during white wedding, you have to buy 1 or 2 things. No matter what, you are going to still top 10 naira to make it 110 naira, which is the added expenses. Instead of just doing this and you are married. And sometimes some churches that I think they have to test the couple even a day to the white wedding if the woman is pregnant or not. They will, even after their traditional marriage, maybe some people might do their traditional marriage 2 weeks ago and the white wedding is the next Saturday. They will tell you are not still legally married, so you cannot even meet together, you cannot stay together, you cannot have marriage consummation. So you have to wait till the white wedding. And in some cases where they met already and the lady got pregnant maybe 1 week to the wedding and it's tested and confirmed that she's pregnant, it might be cancelled. But that's the insane part of it. They're already married. What is the wait for? Or is the traditional marriage not taken as a marriage?
Let me quickly
comment. Is actually within 1 minute.
Let me quickly comment to that. You see, the church is about discipline. Church is not a building. It's the people there that is called church. Because if there's no members there, there's no church. You just have an empty something. Church is about discipline. and you know that this is the doctrine of this church.
Okay.
Let your father give you out a marriage traditionally. Let everything be paid.
Okay.
But you must come back to this church and be joined together in holy wedlock.
Okay.
And until you are joined together, no sexual intercourse. That is why a day to join you together, or 2 days, you must be tested.
Okay.
Pregnancy test. Are you getting me now? Once you know, you discipline yourself. What you are looking for within that traditional and you is what you are going to be eating for the rest of your life. So why are you in a hurry? But some young boys and girls, they want
that means Christianity do not recognize traditional marriage.
It does.
Then they're already married.
No, it does.
But they're already married.
It does. You know there are so many churches that are built on tradition. Are you aware of that?
Okay, yeah.
So many churches that are built on tradition, that they just improve the tradition of that environment and they build that, and that is their doctrine. There's nothing anybody can do about it. There's no way church will, eliminate traditional practices. That is why they allow you for your parents to join you together. But in a church like mine, you are not yet married. And that is the discipline. Okay. That's the discipline that until you are joined together. You know, so some ladies, even before the traditional wedding, they are already sleeping in the husband to his house. A lot of things must have taken place. Okay,
we can't take more because time is actually against. I wish we can discuss this because I want to communicate my fears to the world. I just want to communicate it. Yes, because as much as I would say it, I think, just as you said, the church is not encouraging extravagancy.
That is it.
Neither is traditional marriage.
It's not even encouraging indiscipline.
It's not encouraging indiscipline. But I just feel that individuals can do what is best for them. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. And to my wonderful Abigail that wants just traditional marriage, I think we should get married. We'll not spend the extra 10 naira. All right, viewers, this is how much you can take on the show. I believe you all enjoyed the wonderful segment. And until I come your way next time with more hot topics, I remain Prince Alex. Bye for now.
What you believe in may be different from mine, and what I believe in may be different. I don't mind. Believe what you think, and I believe in mine. And in the end, we all living life. What you believe in, I don't mind. Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace.